when we get our first 4x4 or our second or third, there's always that temptation to put bigger tires. And the reason why I want to put bigger tires is because obviously it looks cool, and that's not the main reason, but it's one of the reasons. The other one is we want to get that inch or two extra of ground clearance. However, putting bigger tires is a money pit in disguise. It's a money pit in the sense that it doesn't just end with you putting bigger tires. After you put the bigger tires in or on, you realize that you've lost some power and some torque, and the car's not pulling as hard as it was, because putting bigger tires in a way is almost like gearing up the car to a higher gear. So essentially your gear 1 becomes like your gear 3, depending on how big the tires you go are. So that leads to having to re-gear the car, and you can do that through two ways. You can do that through the transfer case, which is the way I did, or you can go through putting bigger ring and pinion gears in the diffs, which in the Jimny, the diffs are quite small. Maybe you could fit one extra tooth or put hardened gears in there, but the biggest and the easiest option is to actually re-gear the transfer case, and that's the route that we took over here. As you can see in this video, I'm comparing the OEM stock gears because I had them out already, and I'm comparing them, measuring every bit of the gear, looking at the quality of the new gears that we're putting in, and just making sure all is right with them. Now, what I'm actually doing over here is so important, and I'd advise you not to just rush and put any gears into the car, because these gears that I'm holding over here are the second option. I'm not going to mention names of the suppliers of the different gears I got. I don't want to attract any legal action against me, but basically the first set of gears was so bad in terms of the noise and the mesh of the gear. It was just so bad to a point where driving the car felt like a nightmare. It was so loud. It felt like as if you're driving one of those old military tanks that have sat for like 20 years and you're starting it for the first time and driving it. But once we got the new gears and we put them in, it was much better. So there were two suppliers. The first supplier didn't work out so well, and we contacted them, we spoke to them and showed them a private video on what's going on, the noise it's making, and they realized that the gears that we received are not up to the standard that they produce. So that story ended over there, and we got refunded our money. So we went to the other supplier of gears for Jimnys, and they sent us a really, really nice set. However, crawler gears have their ups and their downs. Over here you can see I'm checking the mesh, making sure that the mesh on the new gears is very, very similar, if not exactly the same as the factory gears. Just making sure that everything will work out well once we put it in, and it won't make as much noise. However, now crawler gears have their upsides and they have their downsides. We can start with the positives, and one of the positives is that crawler gears make it so much easier to drive a car. Gives you the ability to put bigger tires. It also reduces the amount of power the engine needs to put out in order to go certain places. So basically it reduces, these are reduction gears, it reduces the gear ratio, and it gives the car a lot more power. In a sense, the end result is where someone would need to really redline their car to get over an obstacle with the stock gearing, I can actually literally just idle over it. the idle is strong enough to actually keep the car going and to push through whatever obstacle it might be. And we've actually even tested it on steps. To an extent, the car has a built-in mechanism to keep the idle going, so when the idle is about to die, it compensates. So there's even a video where we are going up a flight of stairs in idle, and the car is actually keeping itself on and it's climbing, and all I'm doing is just controlling the clutch so the car just doesn't go crazy and hit another car in front. But the downsides is, whatever manufacturer you buy them from, crawler gears will have some level of noise. Some gears from some manufacturers much more than others, and other gears much less. In the case, the second option that I got is much better than the previous option. However, they still do make noise. The stock gears from the factory don't. This leads me to the fact that if you're thinking of getting bigger tires, you need to think about all these things, including strengthening certain components of the driveline, especially if your tires are much bigger. And the one thing I would like to say also over here is the best recommendation for tire size, even though you feel so tempted to put bigger tires, is the 215/75/15, and that'll save you all this extra cost of regearing the car, the labor involved, changing the oils, testing different oils for the new gears because you've geared down the car. And you're going to see now where we're at the workshop, and we tried out the stock oil recommended for that transfer case, and we changed it to a thicker oil to actually compensate for the reduction in gears. So it's very important that you consider all of this. And why am I putting this out there? It's informative from a place of having actual experience and not just talking from theory. This can help someone make an informed decision. If you are doing it as an experiment like me and you want to try, by all means. If you've actually saved up and you've got the budget for that, by all means, go for it. It's nice, it's fun. But if you're just planning to put bigger tires on and you don't want to spend all this extra cash, the best recommendation for tires is 215/75/15 on the Jimny. And this leads me to why I like the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon so much, because just stock from the factory, its gear ratios come perfect to go up to 35-inch tires. And that's one thing I really liked. But back to the Jimny. I also really like this car. With its current setup, I can actually get out of the car, walk beside the car while I idle up a steep hill. So now we're under here, and you can see that this whole bars that hold the transfer case, I replaced the OEM ones with this because this also holds the cover that protects the transfer case. So over here you can see we're taking out the drainage plug, draining out the stock oil spec, and we'll also view any debris, metal debris from the gears that has actually clinged to the magnet on this drainage plug. As you can see, it's new oil that's there that we're changing out, and the reason why I changed it is I realized halfway through that you need much better oil, much thicker, and a higher quality, especially if it's going to endure much more of a beating and it's going to face certain things. So over here you see us putting in fresh oil. It is Motul oil. I have used a lot of Liqui Moly products. However, in this case we used Motul just to try it out. And at the top there, that's the fill plug. And basically all you do is you put the oil in to a point where it reaches that plug point over there and starts to drip out from the top, and that's full. So as you can see, as we're taking that plug off, the rest of the oil is draining out. We give it some moments just to drain out completely, and then we pour the new oil in. So in my case, I went for this oil over here, 75W90. The recommended one for stock gears is 75W80. And this is a nice green color to it, and I like the fact that it's for high stress situations, which in a case where you've got crawler gears and you're going to be redlining it, which in some obstacles we will, this oil is a bit more protective for that. I haven't tested it myself in person as I've tested the Liku Moly products, but Motul is also a good brand, so I don't doubt them one bit. So I made this video specifically to show you all that's involved in going bigger than 215, 7515 on a Suzuki Jimny, crawler gears, and all that's involved with them. And it's not that it's a bad thing, it's just that if you're not planning to spend more money than the money it costs for your tires, then avoid getting bigger tires than what they recommend. Stick to the stock standard recommendation, and you're sorted, you've got a reliable rig, and you're good to go. So we put these gears in, we've put a high quality oil, we've made sure it's reliable, and we can run the bigger tires. But that's just a fraction of everything that goes together. The one nice thing I do like about the crawler gears, because they also do a slight gear reduction in the high range two-wheel drive, is that on hills, on the tar, even on steep hills, the car manages to hold its cruise control. Whereas with the stock gears, I would find there were certain hills when the wind was blowing, the car would slow down to such a point where the cruise control just kicks out, it stops, and the car can't keep going anymore. It's not the same for the automatics, because obviously it'll most probably just gear down, but with the manuals, it kicks out of that cruise control mode and you end up having to speed up again, gear down, speed up, switch on the cruise control again, which gets irritating when you're on a long trip. With the crawler gears, you can put gear 5 and just leave it, and no matter how steep that hill is, depending on the gear ratios you've gone for, it'll go through. As you see over here, the oil is dripping out over there. We filled it to a point where it's just dripping out slightly. And then we close it up and we put the cover back on. So after all this was done, we went for a cleaned up everything, cleaned up the housings of all oil, just to ensure that no oil residue remained over. And that clean also extended to cleaning the engine bay, because it was very muddy, full of mud from our previous adventures. And we used a product called Blixim, and they use it on dirt bikes also, and it really works. I mean, we just sprayed it on, let it sit for a while, then brushed it slightly, and then washed it off, and it worked perfectly. Just a point that you might want to know if you're cleaning up your car, engine bay: don't use a high pressure gun at close range. Rather get a hose pipe and just sprinkle the water, put your finger over the edge so that you're sprinkling the water but not too harshly over the components when you're washing off this product, so that the water isn't forced into certain electrical components and areas where it shouldn't go. But with that being said, we come to the end of this video, and I hope it's been informative. I hope it has helped you, and I hope it will help you to make an informed decision. I'm not getting paid to make any of these videos by any of these companies, so I get the liberty of being able to speak the truth and speak my mind concerning them, and that's one thing that I've committed to do, so that no one else has to go through the issues that I wasn't told when doing some of these upgrades and mods. That's a wrap for this video. Thank you for watching. Until next time, cheers.